Sasakawa Africa Association presents an interview with Dr. Akin Adesina, President, the African Development Bank Group, AfDB. This interview series is part of the SAA Nigeria History Book by Professor M.K. Othman for Sasakawa Africa Association, Nigeria.
Let me start from the strong point of comparative advantage of Sasakawa, which is on building capacity, the institutional capacity on agricultural extension. I would say that a lot more work. You've done a lot of great work at Sasakawa in training, in building capacity of universities, extension, retraining people, and building a curriculum, new curriculum for extension in universities. I think that should be continued to be done. Secondly, I think that the approach should also include a lot more on digital extension, because we now live in a world in which it's not the physical extension officer alone, but they can be further enabled with having access to digital technologies, the use of drones, automation, and all manner of things that one can use, to support farmers. What I saw testing using other kind of new digital tools to support farmers, I think that. So a lot more on digital technologies. I think it's important. The other one is, the conventional extension system is public sector. But today we have to turn extension into a business. They should become extension entrepreneurs, delivering knowledge, delivering product, delivering services, connecting the dots for farmers in between the farm, the storage, the processing, the value addition, the markets, and also access to finance. So one of the things I've always felt is that, why don't we think of an extension entrepreneur that goes through all of that, and they set them up as businesses, themselves that farmers can have access to. And they can actually do that also by having digital platforms that they can connect to farmers. Yes, of course, we are human beings, so we talk and all that. Plants don't, but plants also suffer, right? Crop diseases and so on. So farmers are constantly looking for plant health, soil health, how to, harvest, how to store, how to connect to markets, market information. So I kind of feel that one way that Sasakawa can, is to build a way, not just a way, but to complement his work that is doing with traditional extension, which is more, public sector driven, to creating extension entrepreneurship, because farmers do need those services. And today you see what has happened with fintech industry, where they basically have overtaken the banking industry. And I think an extension entrepreneurs can be those that are well capitalized. They have the knowledge, they have the skills, they have the money and the contacts to help farmers to navigate the entire ecosystem. So I think it can become a big business, because in Nigeria, at the African Development Bank, we're doing two major efforts maybe three. First is that we're investing $520 million in Nigeria for what's called the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zones in 9 states. I'm glad that you say you've gone into 18 states. And so in each of those areas, there has to be production platforms that connects farmers to technologies and connects them to the food and ag businesses that are going to be located within those areas, right? So we would like to work with Sasakawa in helping us with those production platforms. And second, to get those technologies to farmers, work with you to develop extension entrepreneurs that are going to be graduates that you've trained, that can be capitalized to help connect these farmers in various ways to the companies that are going to be in these special agro-industrial processing zones. The second one is we've approved $240 million to Nigeria for an emergency food production program. When I say we, that is the African Development Bank, JICA, of course, Sasakawa, Mr. Yoi is from Japan, and IFAD. And so this is to help Nigeria to produce maybe about 6.3 million metric tons of food and bring down the food price inflation that Nigeria faces right now. Again, I see an opportunity to work very closely with Sasakawa in this particular area. And so I think if there's anything I can say is how do we turn extension into real business that can make money, that can actually be seen as a service that farmers can pay for. I think it's going to be a real transformation if we are able to do that. You know, you cannot do agriculture unless farmers have knowledge of what they're doing, better knowledge, access to new technologies. So at the national level, at the state level, there has to be a concerted effort to boost knowledge of farmers, of agricultural product, technology and services and so on. And that's why I think that I will encourage the Federal Ministry of Agriculture to do more with Sasakawa. I will encourage state governments. You're already in 18 states. So those states are going to be places where Sasakawa can help deliver a lot of better technologies to farmers. But as I said, state governments also should start supporting, even contributing towards Sasakawa's financing, because at the end of the day, it's not just, we can't be depending only on a very generous Japanese. You know, we ourselves have to put money into things like that. And I think I will encourage stronger investment partnerships, is what I'll call it, between federal government and state governments to advance extension work jointly with Sasakawa. I just want to close on three things, just to suggest. I commend you on the community-based advisors that you're running in Kano. And when I'm in Kano, I would love to see how those things work. But two things I wanted to suggest to both of you is, you know, maybe take a business perspective to that. So maybe you can turn those into farm business service providers. So it's much broader for them, you know, and that's one. The other one is, you know, if we take a look at health, right? So the doctors, you know, they used to walk around with the doctor's kit, the bags, right? The doctor goes, doctors go from place to place. But why can't we have plant health doctors? People who set up services to be able to look at plant diseases, plant health, soil health, advise farmers, and they are branded as such to be able to do that. And they will be able to also connect digitally 24/7 to farmers. If you have any problem digitally, you can provide e-extension services, or you can also link them with faculty members. So it's almost like you put all the ag extension, all the people into a platform, and they can provide their advice digitally to farmers through these plant health doctors that you have all over the place. And then you also have them well-trained so that they can work with the seed companies, the fertilizer companies, plant chemicals company, and so on and so forth. So not only do they give advice, not only do they connect knowledge products to farmers, but they also can actually become intermediaries in even selling products, the appropriate products to farmers. So what I'm saying is that something that's more of a business-driven thing that our young people can do. And if you had a good business plan and say, well, look, you are able to support, let's say 500 farmers or 1,000 farmers, you know, the farmers are willing to pay for services. I think we assume that they are not willing to pay for services. So sometimes I think we overdo the public extension system without letting farmers have access to a whole menu of private sector driven extension services for them, because that's going to be more sustainable when it's a business for these people. And it's also going to be more demand driven because they are, you know, they have to make money from this thing. So I think that's one of the things I just wanted to suggest. And of course, we have, as you know, we had a Dakar 2 summit, in which we now developed for 44 countries food and agriculture delivery compacts, right, including Nigeria. I spoke to President Tinubu about this already, wherein we want to help Nigeria to fully unlock its agricultural potential. And so I look forward to how you can work with us on TAT. As you said, Dr. Atsa and Professor Otman, we're working very close with you on TAT. But let's get a little bit of business into this thing so that we can turn this into, as I said, a bunch of entrepreneurs that can really connect services to farmers and make money and become much more sustainable. But otherwise, thank you very much for what you do. Thank you, Professor Otman. Thank you, Country Director Atta. Let's keep doing what Dr. Bullock said. Take it to the farmers, and we are committed to at the bank to doing that, and we will continue to look to Sasakawa as a strategic partner in getting our work in agriculture to the farmers. So, thank you very much for the opportunity to have this conversation.
This interview series is part of the SAA Nigeria History Book by Professor M.K. Uthman for Sasakawa Africa Association, Nigeria.